Beneath the golden sands of Egypt, secrets lay hidden for millennia. In 1945, a group of farmers in Nag Hammadi unearthed a sealed jar, its exterior worn by time. Inside were fragile scrolls, bearing texts written in ancient Coptic. These were not ordinary writings. They were records of a cosmic battle, of truths deliberately erased from history. These texts, the Nag Hammadi scriptures, spoke of a creator who wasn't the benevolent God people worshiped, but a false deity whose reign was built on lies. As the scrolls were studied, a story began to emerge that would shatter the foundation of mainstream religion. This wasn't just a discovery, it was a revelation. The Nag Hammadi texts introduced the demiurge, a being of profound ignorance and arrogance. Born of a cosmic mistake, he declared himself the only God. In his blindness, he believed this to be true and crafted the material world as his domain. Unlike the God described in traditional religious teachings, the demiurge was a tyrant who ruled through deception and fear. He created a reality filled with suffering, injustice, and ignorance, trapping humanity in an endless cycle of pain. The Gnostics, early seekers of hidden wisdom, saw through this illusion. They understood that the demiurge's world was a prison designed to keep souls blind to their true origins. Enjoying the story? Like, subscribe, and share to support us. Let's continue. In the world of the demiurge, control was maintained through ignorance. Humanity was trapped in a cycle of distraction, chasing material desires, succumbing to fear, and enduring endless suffering. But the Gnostics believed that hidden within each person was a spark of divine light, a fragment of the true divine essence. This spark was humanity's link to a higher realm, far beyond the demiurge's reach. The spark held the power to awaken humanity to the truth, to free them from the illusions of the material world. Yet, the demiurge used every tool at his disposal to keep this light hidden, ensuring humanity remained unaware of their divine potential. The story of Genesis took on a radically different meaning under the Gnostic lens. The God of Genesis, who commanded Adam and Eve not to eat from the tree of knowledge, wasn't a protector, but a jailer. The forbidden fruit, which the serpent offered, wasn't a source of sin, but of enlightenment. The Gnostics saw the serpent as a liberator, a being who sought to free humanity from the demiurge's control. By eating the fruit, Adam and Eve awakened to the truth. Their fall was not a punishment for disobedience, it was a consequence of gaining knowledge. The demiurge's anger wasn't about justice, it was about fear. He banished them from Eden to maintain his power, casting humanity into a world of suffering. Banished from Eden, humanity faced the harsh realities of the material world, a realm designed by the demiurge to suppress their potential. Suffering, toil, and mortality were tools used to distract humans from seeking their divine essence. Over centuries, humanity came to worship the demiurge as the one true God. The Gnostics saw this worship as tragic, a misdirected reverence for a being who thrived on control and fear. Every act of devotion to the demiurge deepened the illusion, binding humanity further into the web of deception he had woven. The Gnostics believed that the demiurge's wrathful and vengeful nature was evident in the stories of the Old Testament. From the great flood that wiped out humanity to the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, these acts were not divine justice, but expressions of the demiurge's need to assert control. The plagues of Egypt, the laws of strict obedience, and the constant demand for sacrifice were all mechanisms to instill fear and submission. To the Gnostics, these weren't the actions of a benevolent creator, but of a flawed being desperate to maintain his illusion of supremacy. Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom, played a pivotal role in the cosmic story. She was a divine being from the higher realms, a part of the true source. In her desire to create independently, she unknowingly gave birth to the demiurge. Recognizing her mistake, she was filled with sorrow, but refused to abandon humanity. Sophia became a guide, a beacon of wisdom, quietly working to awaken the divine spark within each soul. Her whispers were subtle, inspiring humanity through dreams, intuition, and moments of profound clarity. Sophia's relationship with humanity was one of redemption and hope. While the demiurge sought to enslave, Sophia sought to liberate. She represented the ultimate truth, the higher reality that the demiurge was blind to. The Gnostics revered her as the mother of wisdom, the guide who could lead humanity out of the material world's prison and back to the true source. Her presence was quiet but constant, nurturing the divine spark within all who sought to awaken. Jesus, in the Gnostic tradition, was not merely a savior, but a revealer of truths. He came not to reinforce the demiurge's authority, but to expose it. His teachings encouraged humanity to look within, to find the kingdom of God that resided in their own hearts. The Gospel of Thomas captured his cryptic messages, which were not about blind faith, but about awakening. Jesus' parables urged humanity to see beyond the material world's illusion and reconnect with their divine origins. The resurrection of Jesus, in the Gnostic perspective, was a profound act of defiance against the demiurge. It was not about atoning for humanity's sins, but about demonstrating the ultimate truth, that the material world, including death, was an illusion. For the Gnostics, Jesus' return from death was a revelation. It exposed the demiurge's greatest lie, that life and death were the beginning and end of existence. Jesus' resurrection symbolized the soul's ability to transcend the material world, to rise above suffering and reconnect with the true divine source. This act wasn't just a personal victory for Jesus, but a message to all of humanity. It was a call to awaken, to see through the lies of the demiurge and embrace the truth of their divine origins. The Gnostics believed that Jesus' life and teachings were a blueprint for liberation. He showed humanity the path to awakening not through blind faith or obedience, but through knowledge and understanding. His story was a reminder that the divine spark within each soul was indestructible, a light that no shadow could extinguish. To the Gnostics, Jesus' resurrection was not about redemption through sacrifice, but about exposing the material world's illusion. By overcoming death, he demonstrated that the demiurge's ultimate weapon had no real power over the awakened soul. This act was a declaration that the soul was eternal, connected to the true divine source beyond the demiurge's grasp. However, this message was dangerous to the systems of control built on submission and fear. Religious authorities aligned with political power sought to erase the Gnostic message, reinterpreting Jesus' teachings to support the demiurge's rule. Despite this, the resurrection remained a powerful symbol, a reminder that the divine spark within each soul could transcend the darkness and reconnect with the light. Awakening, as taught by the Gnostics, required courage and deep introspection. The material world, filled with distractions like wealth, fear, and societal expectations, kept humanity blind to their true nature. Questioning the causes of suffering and the emptiness of material pursuits became the first steps to breaking free. The Gnostics believed that every awakened soul weakened the demiurge's control, pushing humanity closer to collective liberation. While the journey was fraught with challenges, the reward was unparalleled freedom from illusion and reconnection with the divine essence within. The Gnostics saw the apocalypse, as described in the Book of Revelation, not as destruction, but as the collapse of the demiurge's illusion. Wars and chaos symbolized the unraveling of his systems of control as humanity awakened to the truth. The final judgment was not about punishment, but revelation, a moment when humanity could see the material world for what it was. This vision of the apocalypse was one of hope and renewal, marking the end of suffering and the beginning of spiritual freedom. Lucifer, often portrayed as the ultimate villain, was seen differently in Gnostic thought. To them, he was a symbol of rebellion and enlightenment, the lightbringer who defied the demiurge. The serpent in Eden, offering the fruit of knowledge, was not a deceiver, but a liberator. The Gnostics believed acts of defiance against ignorance, such as questioning authority or seeking knowledge, were steps toward awakening. Lucifer represented humanity's potential to challenge control and embrace their true, divine nature. The Gnostics believed that the material world was designed to keep humanity enslaved to the demiurge's system. Every structure, government, religion, and society was a tool to distract from the truth. The divine spark within each soul, however, remained untouched by this manipulation. Through moments of insight, intuition, or dreams, people could begin to see through the illusion. This realization marked the first step toward liberation, sparking a rebellion against the false reality imposed by the demiurge. Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom, played a quiet yet vital role in humanity's journey. As the one who unintentionally gave rise to the demiurge, she felt immense sorrow for humanity's plight. Yet, her presence was always near, guiding souls toward awakening. She represented the nurturing light that reminded individuals of their divine origin, calling them to rise above the chaos of the material world. Awakening was not easy. The demiurge's tools of control, fear, greed, and distraction were pervasive, but the Gnostics believed that the divine spark within humanity could never be extinguished. Each act of questioning, every pursuit of wisdom, was a step toward liberation. The Gnostic path was one of courage and perseverance, rejecting material distractions in favor of spiritual truth. The serpent in the Garden of Eden became a central symbol of liberation for the Gnostics. Offering the fruit of knowledge, the serpent encouraged Adam and Eve to awaken to the truth, while the demiurge punished them for their defiance. This act planted the seeds of rebellion. The Gnostics saw the serpent not as a deceiver, but as a force of enlightenment, challenging the false god's authority. The story of humanity's exile from Eden symbolized the demiurge's desperate attempt to suppress enlightenment. By casting Adam and Eve into a world of suffering, he hoped to extinguish their spark of awakening. Yet, the Gnostics saw this suffering as a catalyst. Pain and hardship forced individuals to question the nature of their existence, pushing them closer to uncovering the divine truth. Jesus' message in the Gnostic tradition was revolutionary. He urged humanity to seek the divine within, teaching that salvation came from knowledge, not obedience. His parables and teachings, found in texts like the Gospel of Thomas, encouraged introspection and awakening. By rejecting the demiurge's authority, Jesus illuminated the path to spiritual freedom. The resurrection of Jesus was the ultimate act of defiance against the demiurge. To the Gnostics, it was a powerful symbol of liberation, showing that death, the demiurge's ultimate weapon, was an illusion. Jesus' return from death demonstrated that the soul was eternal and could not be bound by the material world. The Gnostics believed that the apocalypse was not an event of destruction, but of awakening. The chaos described in Revelation symbolized the collapse of the demiurge's systems of control. Humanity's collective enlightenment would dismantle the illusion, revealing the truth of the divine realm beyond. Sophia's guidance was subtle but ever-present. She whispered through dreams, inspired through art, and nurtured through moments of clarity. Her role was to remind humanity of their divine origin, helping them see beyond the material world's illusions and reconnect with the true divine source. Lucifer, in Gnostic thought, represented rebellion and enlightenment. As the lightbringer, he defied the demiurge's oppressive rule, offering humanity the tools to see through the lies. The serpent in Eden was one such act of defiance, encouraging humanity to embrace knowledge and question authority. The divine spark within humanity was the ultimate threat to the demiurge. He worked tirelessly to distract and suppress it, yet he could not extinguish it. The Gnostics believed this spark connected humanity to the true divine source and was the key to liberation. Awakening to this truth was both an individual and collective journey. The Gnostics taught that liberation required courage to see through the lies of the material world. Acts of questioning and rebellion against ignorance were steps toward enlightenment. To reject the demiurge's control was to embrace the divine truth of one's eternal essence. The Gnostic interpretation of the apocalypse was hopeful. It wasn't about destruction, but the breaking of illusions. As more souls awakened, the demiurge's grip would weaken, and the material world would transform into a realm of truth and light. Sophia's compassion for humanity never wavered. She symbolized hope, wisdom, and guidance, nurturing the divine spark within every soul. Her story reminded the Gnostics that even in darkness, there was always light, and even in ignorance, there was always potential for awakening. The collapse of the demiurge's reign marked the beginning of humanity's return to the divine. The Gnostics envisioned a future where the illusion of the material world would shatter, and souls would reconnect with the true divine source. This was not an end, but a rebirth. The Gnostics left behind a powerful message. Within every soul lies the key to liberation. The divine spark, though hidden, is indestructible. Through courage, knowledge, and awakening, humanity can transcend the material world and return to the light of the true divine source. This was their ultimate vision, a future where truth triumphs, and every soul reclaims its rightful place in the eternal realm of light.